What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning C Sharp. My name is QTS9 and you guys watching my channel Croywood. Alright, so now that we have a very good understanding of .NET and very good understanding of CLI, and we have also have a very good understanding of IL. Now we're going to go and see how we can install C Sharp or .NET. Keep in mind that first thing first is that you guys need to install the Visual Studio. What we're going to do is that because the Visual Studio is GUI, which is the graphical user interface, we're going to show you guys the .NET, for example, now here. So if you look in here, .NET 7.0, as we already explained to you guys, what is .NET 7.0? If you guys want to have a, say, compiler, or if you guys want to have a nice interface for C Sharp, you guys need this .NET. So if you look in here, I'm here at https://.net.microsoft.com. If you, for example, if you don't install this one, so for example, if you're gonna come here and you try to install this Visual Studio, and if you look in here, we have GitHub, which belongs to Microsoft now because Microsoft bought this GitHub. So if you look in here, we have a Visual Studio 2022. But if you go further down, we have a Visual Studio for Mac. It means this Visual Studio, Microsoft also make it for Mac. But if you look in here, everywhere, wherever we are looking here, we are finding .NET because it's a .NET IDE. So here it's a Visual Studio code. If you look in here, Windows x64. So but you guys just notice the Visual Studio. What is this Visual Studio? There is two downloads here. If you guys notice, we have one here on top. There are two different IDEs, integrated development environment. So if you look in here, this one have a community which is free. Professional and enterprise means that's for very large organizations. Professional means for very professional people, and communities for us, for developers. It means you are learning, or we are students, whatever. But with the community, you got only the basic functionalities. You're not going to get the professional or enterprise strength inside the community. But that's fine. It's pretty much fine because we all learn. But if you look in here, we have Visual Studio for Mac. Makes sense because this is for Mac iOS. But here we have Visual Studio Code, and if you look in here, the Visual Studio, if you look in here, that's a GUI or interface, and if you look in here, that's another one. They are pretty much similar. What's the difference? The difference is that with the Visual Studio, you guys can go and develop, say, that's a built-in for C Sharp. You don't need to do anything. Just straight away out of the box, you're gonna come here and start your programming. Very high professional, say for example game programming, or very highly for big enterprises. But these guys here, they also Visual Studio Code make by Microsoft, is open source. And this one, the beauty of this one is that it's a lightweight, powerful source code editor, runs on your desktop and is available for Windows, Mac OS and Linux. It means it's a cross-platform. It comes in built-in support for JavaScript, TypeScript, Node.js, and has a rich ecosystem of extension for other languages and runtimes such as C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, PHP, Go, and Net. So if you guys want to have a plan to, say, you have an IDE, say for example for C++, C Sharp, or if you want to learn Java, Python, PHP, Go, and .NET, this is the one for you. It means you can run your C Sharp plus C++, Java, Python, PHP, Go, .NET. And if you look in here, there is no community, or there is no professional, or there is nothing here. There is no enterprise. It's just a Windows x64 user installer. Why? Because it's a free. It's totally free. You guys not even paying not even a 1 cent. This is just for us because we are learning. If you guys want to learn C++, C Sharp, Java, Python, PHP, or Go, Net in the future, this is the one for you. So this is the one for you. If you look in here, that's interface. That's how the interface looks like. But make sure when we install this one, we're gonna install the C Sharp extension. because we need to install C# extension with this one. This one is not built in for C#. It has extension, because once we install this one, we're going to install the extension. If you guys planning to use Java, we can gonna install the extension for Java, for Python, for PHP. Every time whatever you guys want to install, this one is you guys needs to install this one for say whatever programming language you're using, say for example for PHP. Alright, so now I'm making another tutorial soon about Vue.js. If you don't know Vue.js, Vue.js is very popular. This is a Vue.js which is a JavaScript library like jQuery. This IDE is the best for the Vue.js. Whenever we wanna do the Vue.js, we install the Visual Studio Code, because this has a very rich plugins for the Vue.js. That's just let you know. So because that's cross-platform free, and we can use it on a variety of programming languages, so we're gonna go try on that one first. Alright, so looking here, that's a Visual Studio. It's a free download, and that's Visual Studio for Mac. And if you look in here, the second one that we saw is a Visual Studio Code. Keep in mind they have a similar name. This one only have a code at the end, but they are two distinct. They're two different IDEs. This IDE is looking here, that's for Windows, and that's for Mac, but they don't have anything for Linux. But this, the third one here, that's for all of them. That's for Windows, Apple, and Linux. So the third one is cross-platform. It means you guys can install it on any operating system. So you can have a choice either to install this one, or if you have a Mac, you can install this one. You can install either this, or you can install this, and they all pretty much fine when it comes to C#. So first of all, we're going to install this one, and then we're going to go on another one. But if you install this one, you guys are not going to be good prompt for .NET. So if you guys install this one, say for example, if you push the installer, you guys going to have something in your so here, then you're going to get here getting started. So you can press it download, and it's gonna go. I didn't even press it download, so it's downloading here. If you look in here, it's downloading here, because I already downloaded this one. I already have a copy of this in my here. So you guys look in here, I have already got a copy of this Visual Studio Code. So that's a VS Code user setup. It means that's going to set up for us. So you can say double click this one, and it's going straight away. It's going to get it downloaded straight away. Alright, so we wait for this one to get downloaded. Alright, so now if you observe here, it didn't ask for .NET. So because that one's not specifically built for say C#, because that's built for a lot of languages. So, and not all languages they require .NET. Say for example C++, our Java, Python, PHP, they are totally distinct programming languages. Our Go, which belongs to Google, and even .NET, because it belongs to the Microsoft, even that one have an extension. So this is why this one you guys not you're not required to put a .NET, for example. But if you are wanna have a serious programming, you guys need to install this .NET 7, because we are learning C# 11, and you guys need to install, as we already learned, that .NET 7.0 is for C# 11, and you guys need to install, as we already learned, that .NET 7.0 is for C# 11. SDK is a software development kit, just like a Java. .NET SDK 64, it means that's for the 64-bit operating system of the Windows. So version 7.0.9 released as the recording of this video. So this is the latest version of the .NET from Windows. So I'm going to show you guys how we're going to do programming in the .NET as well, so you guys have a very good understanding of the .NET, how .NET works. And keep in mind, .NET is when you guys not run it into command prompt. If you can't run it inside, say for example GUI, this one doesn't have a GUI. This is just like a brain of say C#. You can put it on environment which C# runs. And then another while this one's downloading, looking here that is already downloaded, so we can download it, this one, and then it's running. So we're going to look for our Visual Studio here, community. So you're looking here, that's our installer is installing here, and that's a community 2022. All right, so now we're going to go here, and we're going to have a workload ASP web development, but whichever you guys like. So Azure, you want this one, we want this one, so whichever you tick is going to get installed. Say we want this one, the first one. So if you guys planning to do Python, we're going to do the Python as well. So we're going to do the Python. If you guys want, say for example, desktop and mobile, you can do this one, desktop and mobile. If you guys planning to do Azure, if you want to read here, Azure is SDK tools and projects for developing cloud apps and creating resource using .NET and .NET framework. For example, because we are learning C# mainly, a lot of us, because we are learning C# because we want to do gaming, game development with Unity. That's a must, because if you guys planning to make a game, which we are learning C# to make game, and game development with C++, you can tick this one. And other tool sets, for example, if you want to say data storage and processing, if you want a SQL server, I'm not going to do SQL server. Linux and embedded development with C++. If you want to running in a Linux environment, if you want to do this, we're going to do this one. Say for example, Office SharePoint development, I'm not going to do this. Data science and analytics application, this one's for say languages. By continue, agree to the license. We are agree to the license because all of them is free. Keep in mind the total space required is 41.29 gigabytes. This is the total list. If you don't have the space, make sure you don't do all of this. You don't click all of this all these plugins. So if your computer has got a very low memory, in my case, because I'm using only these ones for my tutorials, my main operating system is Linux, so I have storage. But if you are using your main system, make sure you are you're not doing the if you don't have storage, then you're don't do this, don't do all the plugins, just make sure you do the few ones. So before we get started, so some of your selection are no longer fully supported and will receive security updates. So Python 3.6, that's fine. We're gonna do this. So we are waiting for this one to get installed. So that's downloading and verifying. That's for 9.4 gigabytes is getting. That's a total installation we are going to install. Now we're going to go on the next one. If you are wanna, as I said, are very serious with C# and you want to do the game, make sure you install this one. To install this one, you guys just double click this one. Once you double click this one, then you're gonna go here in your download, and you guys gonna get say downloaded that one. Say if we click here, if you want to see this one, we're gonna go here. We put a CMD, double click. So now this one's open. We just put a dot and we put a net. And if you look in here, information, and if you look in here, list SDKs, that's a display. But if you see this one .NET not known, our not verified, our you see something say for example did not understand, something like that, it means you guys needs to install the .NET. So if for example now we put a .NET and we put an info, and it's going to display all the information about the .NET. So if you look in here, we have all this information about the .NET. So .NET runtime installed Microsoft ASP Netcore, as I explained to you guys, 7.0. That's the location, and Netcore app Windows desktop, that's the location. So that's all about .NET, and version is 7, architecture is x64, and that's a commit. That's about GitHub. And looking here, that's found, and environment variable not set because we haven't set it yet, but it's still working. It's pretty much fine. So this is a .NET, and I'm later on, as I said, .NET here belongs to this as a command prompt, our CLI, command line interface. So we're gonna put this one, and I'm gonna show you guys later on how we're gonna do programming with .NET. As I said, .NET is GUI, not GUI. It lives here inside this our command prompt. We can do perfectly fine with C# programming with the .NET. If you guys have a problem with installing your Visual Studio, make sure you come here and install the .NET. So when your .NET is going to be installed, so make sure you here at the https .net.microsoft.com/enus and download. So if you're here, if you see this screen, .NET screen, it means you've got a .NET here. It's up to you. Want to put a .NET 7 or 6, but I recommend you guys put a .NET 7 because as the recording of this video, we have a C# 11, and the C# 11 is compatible with this guys here with .NET 7. So if you want to learn about more about .NET, you can read this. And now we're going to see this guy here. Skip this for now because we are not going to sign in, we are not going to create account, but we're going to skip this for now. So once you guys skip, then you're going to see your brand new Visual Studio code is going to be up and running. So you guys can start your Visual Studio. You can have the option of putting it dark, you can put it blue, you can put it light, and you can put it blue. It's up to you, whichever you like. So we're gonna put say for example this light one, for example. So once you put a light, that's a theme. Whichever theme you guys like, you can put your theme here. So then your Visual Studio is gonna take off and it's gonna fire up. Alright, so here we have Visual Studio 2022, which is running. And if you look in here, if you are installing for the first time, you're going to see something different. But in my case, because I have already run this in say 2019, so I have .sln. So what I'm going to explain to you guys SLN in the next video with the .NET. But for now, if you guys have previously installed this Visual Studio 2019 whatever in the old versions, you're going to see here your files. But if you're not, just don't worry about it. And we're going to see this one. That's a clone repository in GitHub because as I said, Microsoft bought GitHub. If you have a project or solution, you can open this one. If you want to open local folder, if you already have a program, you can open this one. Otherwise, you guys double click this, create a new project. So we click this, create a new project, and we're going to see here that the new project is opening. Here we need this console app because a project for creating a command line application that can run .NET on Windows, Linux and Mac OS. C#, we have a Linux, Mac OS, Windows console. We need this. So this is the rest is all that we have already downloaded for the C#. And if you look in here, that's the whole thing that previously we have downloaded with our installation. So for now, don't worry, you guys don't worry about the rest, because if you guys want to use this C++ or you guys want to use the ASP.NET or Azure, whatever you guys need, that's going to be in the future videos. But for now, because we're going to concentrate on the console app, so where it says console app, we're going to click this one and we click next. And if you look in here, console app 1, you can put a console app 1. So it says resides in a C folder. That's the default users home source repos. So you can put this one console app1, our first console app. You can put a first console app, for example. We can put a first, and we put a console app. So this is gonna be our project, the first console app, and we're gonna press next, and it's gonna be .NET 6 long-term support. You can change this one, say to .NET 7 standard term support. It's up to you. You want to put this one on 7, so we're going to create this one because we are using C#11. So your projects is creating. If for now it might not makes any sense to you guys, because that's your first time you guys encountering. If you're encountering first time this not .NET 07.0, it should sometime it doesn't make sense to a lot of people why we do this .NET 7.0. But once in the next video I'm gonna run .NET in the command line, and you're going to see that it's going to make perfect sense why we do this .NET 7.0 with say command line instead of this console app here. As you can see here that Microsoft Visual Studio is creating the project, so we wait till Microsoft finishes creating the project, and we're going to show you guys how Microsoft creates .NET standard .NET 7.0 project. So our Visual Studios fire up, and we have created our first project. So if you observe here, we're going to get rid of this message. It says that first console app that I've just typed, and it says that program.cs. So if you look in here, it says first console app, which I've just created the project. And if you look in here, there is dependencies, and if you look in here, there is a C# program.cs. So the program.cs is here. So this is what your first program, our first whatever you guys see, is going to be inside this window. You can change this one. Say for example, you can put your own name. For example, we can put a hello. So I'm going to put a hello, say Koreawood. Hello from Koreawood. From Koreawood to all C# programmers, because we are all programmers. So we hit Control S to save, and if you guys look in here, there is a play button here. So that's our first program is ready, and here we can fire up our program. So here we can run our first program in C#. So far so good. And if you look in here, if you observe down here, build started, if you pay attention here, it's the build started project, first console app, configuration, debug. That's all the C# Visual Studio IDE is working, and it's working, it's building our project. And soon we're going to see our console.write line, hello from Koreawood to all C# programmers. Alright, so if you guys look in here, we have outputted our message, hello from Koreawood to all C# programmers. How cool is this? Our IDE is ready. So we have created the first .NET project. Say here, exit it with the code 0. 0 means it's okay. If it's 1, it means you have a problem. So this is how the Visual Basic and the C#.NET it looks like. So that's how we have done it here. Hello from Koreawood to all our C# programmers, which if you look in here is here. And keep in mind here .sln, if you'll see me here, .sln I think it stands for solution. So that's our message that we have put it here. So our IDE is working perfectly with the C sharp and it's ready to go. Alright, so in the next video I'm gonna show you guys how we're gonna do exactly the same one. I'm gonna output the same message, not through the GUI or through the IDE, but I'm gonna do it through the .NET, through these guys here, through the command line. I'm not gonna use the IDE, but I'm gonna use the command line. So you guys, as a C sharp programmers, you guys have to be familiar with how to use the IDE, and in addition to how to you guys gonna be using the this guys here, command line. So this is called command line, our CLI, as I have shown you guys previously, and this is the GUI, which is this Visual Studio community version, which is free version. So we have installed the installer, and if you want to see where the application resides, if you press the menu, it resides here down. If you look in here, so if you come all the way here to Visual Studio, not the code, because I have the code too, but Visual Studio 2022. As the recording of this video, this is the the latest version of the Visual Studio, which is 2022. Okay, so don't worry about these ones, I'm going to explain to you guys as we go along. And for now, if you guys understand this one, Visual Studio 2022, and here through this Visual Studio installer, we have installed this Visual Studio. Okay, so in the next video I'm going to go on through the .NET, how we're going to use the .NET, and then later on we're going to touch this Visual Studio code. And keep in mind, the Visual Studio code is not the same as the Visual Studio, as you guys going to see here. You look in here, the trademark is totally different. This one's got a different color to this one's got a blue. So this one's looking here is totally different to this one. It might from one look, it might look the same, but it's not the same, because this is, you guys can do a lot of Visual Studio code. You guys can do a lot of amazing stuff with Node.js, or you guys can do a lot of stuff with Vue.js, and you guys can do a lot of things with the PHP, you can do with Java, with a lot of other programming stuff. But this is built specifically for .NET, and is specifically built for C sharp. Keep in mind that you can run C sharp in this one too, but we're going to see this one in future videos. But for now, if you guys understand the Visual Studio, how we're going to download this one, and how we run our .NET our here in the console, how we're going to run this one. So as I said before, we can run this one in here IDE. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.